Levan, can you hear me? Sure. Levan, tonight you told us in this presentation, and I wrote it down, that we, on this consent decree, we have spent $90 million since 2000.
96, I think, yeah. 96.
Yes. Tonight.
No, that was 2000. Since we signed in 2015, 96 million since 2015. Now, if you go all the way back to 2001, yeah, it may be. If you go all the way back to 2001, yeah, it may be $200, $300 million. I didn't look back there. I only looked at it. And can we bring that slide back up, Steve?
You only looked at consent decree.
Consent decrees. It came in January 1st, 2015, and those are the years that I listed on the on there, and it was 15 million, 19 million, 21, 18, 14, 5, and 2, adds up to 96 million from January 1st, 2015. And I'm aware that 300 million's been tossed out there, but that's not the number we need to look at when we're thinking about what we signed up for.
And when did you say the 300 million?
Well, now, I've never said 300 million. I've heard other people say it, and it's been quoted, and I've seen it in the newspaper. I've never said that number.
Well, what the mayor and Mr. Gefkin told the governor is that we have been investing more than $300 million since 2012. There's some discrepancies here going on in these numbers. And I've got the document. I've got
we will look into that.
You can see it when let me finish my presentation if I can. That's a huge discretion. That's a huge discrepancy in the numbers. But when we're telling the governor this, then those are the numbers we're using. We're using astronomical numbers. When in the board meeting November 16th, when Mr. Gefkin's utility director was asked the question by Director Dawson, a great question. The question was asked, we've spent over $300 million on the consent decree, and the answer was yes. Now let's talk about the other numbers that we don't seem to be getting to the truth on. What about the numbers we're going to spend in the future? Now tonight we were told that in the future, $500 million is going to be spent. That's the number we've heard at least 3 or 4 times tonight. When Mr. Gefkin is talking to the high-priced lawyers, the expert lawyers, Mr. Gefkin said that figure, the cost will increase from $440 million to $700 million. That's the future cost. I guess it's just, a discrepancy of $240 million.
Mayor McGill,
Let
2
me say
minutes.
this. We're past the 2 minutes. I want to give other people an opportunity. We've got people on the list. And we'll let you come back. But we'll let you come back. But what I would say is we'll look into these discrepancies, and we'll see what our response would be, a reasonable response to you. Because these are fair questions.
Can I make another point?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to also talk about more transparency and more honesty with the voters. Because one thing that you haven't mentioned, but a letter from our, again, Aqua Law stated that one of the consequences of massive financial priority for the sewer system improvement is that the city has not been able to raise water rates during this same period of time. Not one word has been mentioned about the taxpayers over on the north side of town and taxpayers who cannot afford these water rates. But this document says, as summarized above, the city expects now to raise water rates by 30% in 2021, 20% in 2022, with additional increases in the ensuing year. And then they give a chart. This is when they're begging the federal government for mercy. We hear the real numbers. And it says water rates from 2023 to 2034, it will be 6% annually. Cumulative water rate increases will be needed of $213 0.9% through 234. Our citizens have been slammed by water rates. They're all over the place. And now we don't hear anything about the water rate. What we did hear tonight is that we were going to have, and it was part of the proposal that you made.
Okay,
Remember, one question, I'll finish up here. You said that we were going to freeze sewer rates, but you don't mention freezing water rates. So the citizens should also be aware that we are going to get slammed with water rates.
Okay, and I would say, one of the things you mentioned, Mr. McCutchen, was a 30%